My name is Mark. My Zen Path Story, Part 3, Vajrapani. After returning to the Dhamma Zen Center from Tassajara as a failed monk, and being told by the abbot Kyogen to see if there was another training center I can go to, and that I needed more life experience, I did inquire with a few Zen centers that did run monasteries. I got no replies to any of my letters of inquiry. Now, my friend Pam, who I met at Tassajara, invited me to stay with her in San Francisco, and that she had a camper and wanted to travel around the USA and visit Zen centers and the monasteries too. So I left the Dhamma Zen Center for the final time, never to return, to go see my friend Pam in San Francisco. When I got to San Francisco, my friend Pam informed me that the camper needed repairs. And well, it needed a lot of repairs, and I had no money to fix it. So I took a job driving a pedicab on the San Francisco wharf during the spring and summer of 1994. Well, it turned out that the camper was not workable, and Pam decided to not travel after all. So what to do? Well, one of the monks that I liked at Tassajara, Diagon, was at the Santa Cruz Zen Center, so I hitchhiked to Santa Cruz to visit him. When I got to Santa Cruz, Diagon, he said I could stay as long as I like, and we talked a lot about Tassajara. He told me he was aware of how I was ostracized and left out of training, but he chose not to say anything then. Well, a few days goes by, and Diagon gets a phone call, and then tells me I cannot stay any longer. So fortunately, I find an ad in Tricycle magazine for the need of a caretaker for a place called Vajrapani, and it's located in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Perfect. I then call them, and they invite me for an interview. I get a ride to the place, and they hire me on the spot. So in the fall of 1995, I end up as the caretaker at this Tibetan retreat center called Vajrapani. They have a stupa and a retreat center buildings, meditation halls, and a lot of cabins all over the property. And about 15 residents live there, along with 2 ordained nuns. Vajrapani was quite busy with many Tibetan dignitaries staying there, visiting teachers, groups running the place up for retreats, and many other uses. I was always busy with repairs, cleaning, and clearing the land for new uses. Of course, I was invited to all the events, all of the activities that took place there. But the residents saw the Zen in me and started calling me the Roshi. Though I met some amazing people there and I learned a lot about the Tibetan path, I realized it was not for me. I left Vajrapani 1 year after I came and went back up to Oregon. So when I came back, I lived with my mother for a while, not long though. I got a job at a 1-hour photo processing lab and found an apartment with a roommate. Later I got a job at a phone support center for Microsoft, doing support for Windows 95. The internet was just blooming, and I was able to reach out and see what was going on with Zen. After many interesting chats and emails with Zen seekers, I found the Georgia mystic Zenmar, who gave me plenty of things to read, but also helped me realize that the Zen that these Zen centers teach is not really Zen at all. It was just ancient Japanese cultural fanaticism that goes on, the LARPing, live-action role-playing, and not even the Japanese take it seriously at all, as I found out by talking to real Japanese Zen monks. The criticism of Western Zen became known as Dark Zen, and I'll have another video about that. Though deep in my heart I already knew that the Zen I was seeking was not in the Zen centers, Zenmar helped me put it into words to formulate thoughts and a language I could express myself in. Furthermore, Zenmar provided to me the materials that I could dig out the true Zen teachings with. Zenmar called me the Otomo, meaning Dharma friend. In 2000, I got married to a Chinese girl and planned to make a family with her. My Chinese wife was involved with a group called Falun Gong. I knew very little about that group at that time, and she made it clear to me that Zenmar cannot be part of our family anymore after we visited him for the last time in Georgia, August 2003. So I had to choose Chinese wife or Zenmar. In 2005, my son was born, and in 2008, my daughter was born. In 2017, my Chinese wife and I divorced. I have not spoken about Zen until now, 2021. Kyogens Koan. Once one starts down the Zen path, one never really leaves it. For the Zen path becomes everything you do and see. Kyogen sent me on a challenge. Kyogen sent me on a challenge that I call Kyogens Koan, to find my true teacher. I can only chuckle now and wonder if he knew what he was doing back then. And as his wife Gyokoku would often like to say, sometimes you blink the eyes of a Buddha, and sometimes you don't. Thank you for listening to my Zen Path story. Please remember to like and subscribe.